everyone. Welcome you all for a short discussion. And I should tell you what this discussion is about. My name is Saratanand, a lecturer from the University of Sri Jawatanapura, Sri Lanka. I represent the Department of English Language Teaching. This department runs a diploma program, and this is an external diploma program. Therefore, in this diploma program, we meet the students only once a week. We meet them on Sundays. Therefore, we as a department thought it's better to give them some recorded material or recorded lecture materials. Today, I'm going to discuss a poem under my subject. My subject is language through literature. In this subject, we discuss the main messages of the literary texts we have taken into consideration. Today, of course, we are going to discuss a poem, a sonnet for discussion. Let me share the screen and take you there. I hope you can see the screen. So even though my target audience is my students who follow this diploma, it is open also for other people who are interested in reading poetry. Today we are going to read this poem. Shall I compare thee to summer's day? It is a sonnet. Sonnets are short poems, especially Shakespeare sonnets, are having 14 lines. Shakespeare sonnets have 3 stanzas and 1 couplet at the end. Altogether 14 lines. This means stanzas are 4 lines. 4 into 3, 12 lines. And then finally there is a couplet. So this is number 18. Why number 18? Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. What we are discussing is number 18. But before we go into the poem, let me tell you a word about Shakespeare. Of course, you can see on the screen some years and a drawing of William Shakespeare. This is actually young Shakespeare. The years, important years, he was born in April 1564, died on 3rd May 1616. I give these years for you to have an idea about the time. Now we discuss this poem in the year 2024. To be very specific, November 2024. Now look at the difference. It is centuries. However, his poems are still recognized. His genius artworks, poems, dramas are very famous all over the world. He is considered as the national poet of England, UK. And he has been recognized not only in UK or England, he is recognized world over. Whenever we talk about English literature, we cannot forget William Shakespeare. Especially he is very, very famous for his dramas. As a dramatist, as a playwright, he is very famous. However, he is not less famous on his poetry. Out of these 154 sonnets, we discussed some of them for this diploma program. Today we are discussing number 18 of this collection. Let us go into the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Sonnet 18. This is the headline or the topic of the poem we are discussing. Usually, the first line of the poem is taken here as the subject or the topic of the poem. Let me go to the stanza. This is stanza number 1. There are 4 lines. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves has all too short a date. When you look at this stanza, ladies and gentlemen, we can see some old English words such as thee, thou art, etc. These are old English words, but they are very simple and to the point. When you say thee, it is you. When you say thou art, it is you are. Therefore, it is not difficult for us to understand the poem. In this diploma, we want our students to understand the main message of the literary text. In this case, the poem. Therefore, I hope my students will be able to understand easily the message of the poem because the words are very simple. Sorry. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Question mark. Also, when you say shall I, Shakespeare is asking a question. When we learn about the literature about Shakespeare, we come across that he wrote his sonnets to his beloved. So in this case also we see that he is addressing his beloved and he is asking permission from his beloved to compare his beloved to a summer's day. Why summer's day? Maybe another question. Maybe you have your own interpretation. Let me provide my interpretation. Of course, when we read poetry, when we read literary texts, we can have our own interpretation, our own idea about the lines, about the poem, about the drama, or about the novel we are discussing. However, you have full liberty to have your own stance, your own interpretation. Let me give you my interpretation. As I told before, when we read the literature about Shakespeare, we come across that he addressed his beloved in his sonnets. And sonnet number 18 is no exception. He's asking permission from his beloved to compare the person with a day of summer. Why a day of summer? I think British people usually admire summer season. Especially, this is the season they enjoy much. They can go out. They can have outdoor activities in summer. Also, the atmosphere, the environment is green. Trees are beautiful. You have flowers and fruits on trees. Therefore, there's no argument. British people admire summer season. Many British people find summer as their best season. Maybe Shakespeare is taking his best season also to compare his beloved against a day of a best season. And he tells further, thou art more lovely and more temperate. He gives a kind of reason also. For me, you are more lovely and more temperate. Therefore, please allow me to compare you against a day of a summer, or compare thee to a summer's day. In the third line, he comes out therefore with the weaknesses of summer as he finds. First weakness we come across in the third line. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Usually in summer, we have rough winds. Darling buds may be blooming flowers of the month of May. He says, That's a weakness. Rough winds shake the beautiful blooming flowers. For a poet, that may be a weakness. If the winds are rough and they shake the beautiful flowers, and maybe they break the beautiful flowers. For a poet, he considered this as a weakness of summer. He continues to the fourth line of the stanza, and summer's lease has all too short a date. He talks about the time span. Time. Summer's time is very short. If you take the full season, even then you see it is comparatively shorter. And also if you take summer's day, morning, evening, though it is summer, you have gloomy weather. It is only limited number of hours of the day you have summer, full summer or beautiful summer. So the actual time of summer's day is short. So he considered that as another weakness. Let us go to the second stanza. Ladies and gentlemen, second stanza is started with a continuation of the weaknesses again of the summer. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines. He takes a metaphor here to talk about the sun. Eye of heaven means the sun. He says, sun is too hot. That's another weakness. And often is gold complexion dim. If you take a day, summer day or summer's day, sun's bright gold complexion is for a short period of time. It is dimmed. In the morning it is dimmed. In the afternoon it is dimmed. Therefore, he says, his gold complexion is dimmed. He uses the word his. He gives man's power to the sun. In other words, he personifies the sun and says his gold complexion is dim. That's how he brings out another weakness. So, first line of the stanza is too hot. Second line of the stanza, gold complexion is for a short period of time. Another weakness. However, when it comes to the third line of the stanza, he's diverting our attention to another factor. That is, he's taking a natural, general phenomenon. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, he says. All the fair things, beautiful things, sometimes declines. That's the natural truth, accepted truth. All the beautiful things in the world come to an end, decline. Beauty will decline. The beauty you have today, you will not have after 1 or 2 years. So it's the nature. So he's taking our attention to this and tells this happens by chance, so nature's changing course untrimmed. This general phenomenon happens either by chance or if you don't take precautionary measures to the changes of nature, your beauty will come to an end. It is on the one hand coming to an end by chance, naturally it will come to an end. Or else your beauty, if you do not maintain properly, it will come to an end. Let me take an example. You have a beautiful hair. Your hair, if you don't comb, what will happen? It will not be beautiful anymore. Also, if you don't clean yourself, you will not be beautiful anymore. Therefore, he continues his argument on this general factor. And every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. If you do not change the nature's changing course, or maintain the nature changing course, or if you just wait, by chance it will happen. Your beauty will be declined. Let's go to the next stanza. And this is the third stanza. But thy eternal summer shall not fade. He's addressing once again his beloved. Thy means your eternal summer. And according to him, his beloved has long-lasting summer, eternal summer. And according to him, that will not fade, that will not be faded away. And he further says, no lose possession of that fair thou was. You have that fairness, that beauty, and you are not going to lose your ownership, and you can have it. How? Go to the next line. He further says, no shall death brag thou wanderers in his shade. Even the dead cannot take you under his shade. That means even death cannot control you. All the living things will be taken by the death, and people will be dead. Other things will go to this natural state called death. But he says, no shall death brag thou wanderers in his shade. He's personifying the concept, the phenomenon death also here. That's why he is using his shade. Death shall brag thou, no shall death brag thou, wanderers in his shade. Even the death can't control you. Death can't take you under his shade. Why? Finally, he gives the solution. Why? When in eternal lines to time thou grows. Actually, you are growing in these eternal lines. What are eternal lines? According to him, these are the eternal lines. These lines live forever. These lines will live according to the time, and forever they will remain among people. Therefore, you will grow in the lines. Therefore, you will not die. In a way, it is true. Shakespeare wrote this sonnet centuries ago. Even now, we discuss this sonnet under our diploma program. Like that. All over the world, in many other universities, whenever they take English literature courses, this is a common poem. Or Shakespeare sonnets are a must, common feature. And they discuss. And we discuss the image of this beloved. And when we discuss it over and over again, we talk about it. And the person, whoever is mentioned, is living according to Shakespeare. We go to the last two lines, the couplet. And he very nicely ended. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe means not only men, women also. People can breathe means can live. And their eyes can see, or eyes can see. If they can see means they can read. So long lives this. This poem lived among people forever, and therefore this gives life to thee. This poem will give life to thee forever, because people are living and they are reading. Forever, eternally they are reading. In a way, it is true. It is 2024. We are reading it now. And his argument is concluded by saying, my beloved, I compare you because you are more beautiful and more temperate. And the summer has these weaknesses. You don't have such weaknesses. Your beauty is permanent. Your beauty is eternal. Why? you are living in these lines. The people will give life to thee. People will provide you life because you are growing in my poem. That's how he ends the poem, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go back and read the poem again before I wind up. I hope you can see the lines. Let me read it now. Shall I come? But before I read, let me tell you, when you read with meaning so that you can enjoy the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves had all too short a day. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dim, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou wovest, nor shall death brag thou wanderers in its shade. When in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. That is the end of the sonnet number 18, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. We'll meet in another lesson very soon. Thank you very much. Let me